So forgive me for being a little bit scruffy, but my summer class just ended and I'm enjoying a little bit my little dab of vacation before all the students come back and we gear up for the fall. I gathered that there was some concern brewing up again about the problem that it's difficult to talk about a government's moral duties or moral obligations, and that there are folks who are concerned that this is going to be a recurrent and very powerful argument for the negative. And I really don't think it is if you make one simple move at the beginning of the debate, which is I think that you need to define government, and I think there's a pretty easy way to do it. I think that you say that the government, you are interpreting government to mean the team of officials, decision makers, in most systems elected officials, but in some not elected, but the people who actually have their hands on the levers of power at any particular moment. They are the government. Now, this is very clear in parliamentary systems because in a parliamentary election, the party that wins, if they win an outright majority, then they are asked to form a government, which is to say, to distribute the different cabinet positions among their membership. And once they've handed out those positions, that's the government. And if they don't win an outright majority, then they have to get together with other parties and form a coalition, and that is the government. And you might keep in mind that nothing in the topic refers to the United States. So if you say, my interpretation of government as used in parliamentary systems, and you might even point out that parliamentary systems of government are very, very common and widespread around the world, more so than our unitary executive system of government, you might be able to say that that's the most appropriate. But even if you think you might have a judge who was reluctant to accept a definition of government that used systems other than the United States system, you could go to a thesaurus where you can find among the synonyms for government, you can find officialdom, you can find administration, which refers to the people who are in power. Whoever wins a presidential election, it then becomes their administration, the Bush administration, the Obama administration, and the ones who are appointed to the different offices in the executive branch, they then become part of the administration, which is a synonym for government. Then I think what you want to do is you want to preemptively make an argument that you're not taking away the spirit of the topic. Because even though your interpretation allows us to talk about people and the decisions that people make, and this topic is evidently written to direct us to a different subject matter, what happens when organizations act in certain ways, you can say, but my interpretation only lets us talk about the members of the administration as they carry out their roles. What it does, though, is it means not every debate on this topic for the entire season will come down to this one question. It allows for there to be some wiggle room. And I think you can say that just about any argument that the negative has, which if it's true means that the topic is over and settled, that's an argument that the judge ought to at least be skeptical of. And if there are two different interpretations of the topic in the debate, and one interpretation means that both sides have a starting position to debate, and the other interpretation in the debate means the topic framers just didn't think long enough and the topic is fatally defective, then that means the first interpretation, which sets up for good clash, a good opportunity for spirited argument, that's the better interpretation and the one that the judges ought to accept. So if you're defining your terms in an effective way at the beginning of the debate, I really, really think, if you execute effectively through the round and so forth, I really think that this argument that governments are morally neutral, that governments can't be judged for the morality of their actions, I don't think that's really going to be a problem. So take that input, and one may hope that it will clear up some problems for you.